He entered the business world barely into his teens. He rose to own hotels and a catering service before his latest venture. Surya Paloh is Indonesia's media man, now serving up news 24 hours a day. And Korean pop music is sweeping Asia, and two of its hottest stars keep CD sales booming. Kim Gun-mo and Jong-hwa compare with any artist outside the region. Talk Asia starts now.
Change your perception.
And I know what works.
And there's a magic.
Financial fashion.
Single sound.
We are what we are today.
That's the problem with that.
We do have issues arising out of the turn for this new century.
Hi, I'm Dalton Tanonaka, and Talk Asia is in Jakarta this week for a conversation with a man who sits atop a media empire in a crucial time in Indonesia's history. The man I'd like you to meet is Surya Paloh, and he is the owner, founder of Metro TV, the first 24-hour news channel in Indonesia's history. And in a country where press freedom until recently was very limited, he faces an enormous challenge. So thank you very much. Thank you for having us in to your corporate home.
Thank you very much, Dalton.
Now, what I'd like to do is maybe, I've never seen a studio or an office like this. I've been in journalism many years. This is the nicest studio and operations I've ever seen. Can you give us a little tour and show us how your operation is put together?
Why not?
Okay. So
Come over.
What is this now?
We are now in the newsroom area. Yeah. There is the room, what we call it editing rooms. That's the reporters and editors. They will sitting in this area.
You're all computerized, right?
Yeah, computerized. All the computerized now.
Right. Very, very impressive. And all your monitors, of course, you have CNN on somewhere.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Metro was founded last year, right? In September, about.
Yes.
And what was your mission? What was the purpose of Metro when you founded it?
Yeah, we knowing if the Metro starting with the
You want to give people the news, right?
The news.
24 hours.
Yes.
And kind of like styled after kind of like a CNN. Is that true?
Yeah, some people they can call us adapts with the CNN and CNBC. But whatever they commented, I think we agree with that.
Yeah. How many people does Metro affect? How many people viewers do you have? About?
I think right now,
Yeah.
if we are talking about viewers in Jakarta area,
Yes. Because right now you're only seen
yeah,
in
we
Jakarta.
make a cemented A and B class, right?
Okay.
If we are talking about population in Jakarta around 10 million and AB class around, let's say, 6 million in Jakarta, to be honest to you, at least 85% from AB class are reaching a Metro right now.
Now, AB class meaning that certain desirable viewer
Correct.
that the advertisers want to reach.
Yes.
So the demographic is very good for you. You
Yes.
want the A and B viewer. Yeah. So you have expansion plans, though. Someday you want to make Metro go further than Jakarta, correct?
Of course, yes. But we consolidate our organization as a first priority right now.
Sure.
But not longer, maybe a years from now, we make expansions area for all area in Java,
This island, yeah.
in these islands.
Right.
And of course, outside of Java, that means Sumatra, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, etc.
Okay, what's next? Now, look at these. I'm looking at these artwork. You never see this normally in a newsroom. In my newsroom, you never see it. Why is it so important to have nice surroundings like this?
And this is a matter of art only. Make the what do you call it? The environment is more nicely.
So the workers feel better about it.
Our workers feel more better.
This is very nice.
We are on headline. Every hours we have the headline news. And every day we have a special Mandarin news.
Yeah, you have Mandarin, English, and of
Indonesian.
course native
Of course,
Bahasa
yeah,
Indonesian.
Bahasa
Right.
Indonesia. Yeah, we are now in the green rooms.
Very nice.
Lovely, right?
This is where the guests come and wait
Yes.
for their turn in the
For
studio.
this,
Right.
yes.
Right. Very nice. All I can say. What kind of programming do you have on Metro? What are the different kinds of program, and how many times do you have news, for example?
Oh, we have a news program, we have infotainments, even entertainment programs, leisure program, but we have at least 3 types of news program. English news, Mandarin news, that what we call that the Metro Sinwens, and of course, another ordinary news as Indonesia, in Bahasa Indonesia news.
And you buy different programs from other countries as well?
Yes, of course.
But mainly you produce your own news 24 hours.
Most of the news we produce by our own, and sometimes we can get it from CNN.
And the purpose of this, again, the mission is what? Why did you create Metro TV?
Yeah, because my philosophy is how to give more better for our nation, how to educate peoples a better life, better way of thinking from day to day in their life.
So you give them information.
Lovely then. Absolutely yes.
Talk Asia is in Jakarta, and we're talking with Surya Paloh. He is the owner and founder of Metro TV, Indonesia's first 24-hour news channel. I guess you're kind of like the Indonesian Ted Turner, who our company is very familiar with, or maybe you hope to be someday.
Ya, terlalu besar sebenarnya.
That's probably too big a compliment for me.
Saya.
Well, this is a very impressive operation. You must be very proud of what you've put together here.
Ya, saya pikir memang bagaimanapun juga apa yang saya lakukan ini.
Yes, I think whatever I've done, it's just a start that will fulfill my hope for the future. It doesn't stop. Maybe one day I'll be able to give a bigger contribution from my business.
Untuk bidang bisnis yang saya gelutin pada saat ini.
What is your, I know you're a businessman and this is a business, you're here to make money, but do you have a philosophy that you follow in your news operations?
Saya pikir bukan hanya saya.
I think it's sad if a person doesn't have a philosophy, including myself. Yes, I have a philosophy. My life's philosophy is reflected in my business, and especially in the publishing business. I think I prioritise the public interest as a commitment to consistently give something that means more for their understanding as an individual and as a member of the public, to help them have a better understanding about the world and this country. That means I hope that my business will educate and inform about a wider aspect of life, political, social, cultural, everything.
Now you're 50 years old, you just had a birthday, last month, happy birthday, and you're married, you have a son, young son, but you started in business at a very, very young age. Why did you, I understand 14 years old, what happened at 14? What did you do and why did you think about doing business at so young an age?
Ya, Dalton, barangkali bagi anak seusia saya, umur 14 tahun, masih sibuk dengan masalah-masalah remaja. Ya.
Sometimes for a 14-year-old, there can be teenage problems. Sometimes they can be spoilt and still need a lot of love and attention from their parents. But that didn't happen to me. Not that I didn't receive love from my parents, because I did. But I was different. I don't know if it's a gift from nature to me, but since I was 14 years old, I always had big hopes and big dreams. A dream that one day I have to be something meaningful for my society and my environment. So I tried from a very early age to achieve a higher target. That's when I started my business. I trained my sense of entrepreneurship, I trained my business intuition, I learnt from my seniors, from bigger businessmen in my surroundings. I also learned about failures. That became a good teacher for me too.
Now, I think it's fair to say you're a very wealthy man right now, but you did not come from a wealthy background. Your father was a police officer, correct? So did you think about someday I need to make money, or did this just happen because you're a good businessman?
Oh, terpikirkan oleh saya tahu sekali, bagaimanapun.
Oh yes, I thought about it. I was born into a police family. There was a question if I wanted to be a policeman, follow my father's footsteps, and the answer was no, I did not. Did I want to be a soldier? The answer was also no. Then the other question was if I wanted to be a professor or a scientist, to learn about science, doing diligent experiments in the laboratory, and the answer was also no. The other funny question I had was, did I want to be a religious teacher? Because from a very early age I was taught religion, and I didn't want that either. So what did I want to be? I wanted to be a businessman, a politician, or even perhaps a statesman for this country. To be known, that was my childhood dream. It doesn't mean that I regret that I didn't become a known politician or a formal leader. I've achieved what I wanted.
Well, I want to ask you about your political dreams, because you were a politician for 5 years. You were in the People's Consultative Assembly. But before that, you started your catering business, which is, I guess, the basis of your empire right now. You still have that. Then you got into hotels and other interests. And then you got into politics for 5 years. Why did you get involved in the public sector like that?
Saya pikir, saya harus mengkoreksi itu. Memang saya
I started in politics from a very young age. When I was 14, I was going to school, trading, and also an activist. Then when I was 19, I was nominated as the member of the local parliament for Medan. As a member of parliament, that was unusual for a 19-year-old, and then in the end, when I was 25 years old, I was elected as a member of the upper house, national, for 2 terms. So for 10 years, I was a member of the General Assembly. The political environment at the time didn't give the opportunity for a person like me to further express myself, my thoughts, my vision as a politician. So I followed my entrepreneurship, the intuition to build my business.
Well, you obviously are a very busy man. You run hotels, you run your catering business, you run this, besides the TV side, of course, people in Indonesia know you as the publisher, the owner of a newspaper, and you run a daily Bahasa language newspaper. Does that leave you any time for yourself, personal time, to spend with your family or just to enjoy life?
Ya, kalau kita ingin mengikuti semuanya tidak pernah akan selesai.
Yes, if you want to follow everything, it will never be finished. Life introduces us to limitations that we have to acknowledge. Every one of us has limitations, and if we try to push it, then we have to pay a very high price for it. And I don't want to do that. So I try to give time to myself so I can have harmony and balance. I work hard and play hard. So I think success lies in balancing the two, and I try to do that as best I can.
Okay, well, what are some of the things you like to do to relieve stress or to enjoy time when you are not working?
Oh, banyak sekali yang saya lakukan. Pertama, saya ingin mengutarakan bahwa saya itu orang yang suka makan enak.
I like to do a lot of things. First of all, I love to eat. I like to walk around and to travel. I like to visit luxury hotels, spas, and diving. I'm actually not a diver, but I love to see people diving. Most of my spare time I spend in the ocean. I love the sea. I love fishing. Luckily, I have the facility for it. I have an island and a yacht.
You own an island.
Yes, I do.
Not many people own an island. Where is it and what's on it?
Salah satu saya pikir daerah di Kepulauan Seribu di sini tidak terlalu jauh dari Teluk Jakarta.
Well, it's one in the Thousand Islands. It's not very far from the Jakarta Bay. I'll take you there one day with your family to visit it. It's only about 1 to 1.5 hours by boat. We can eat there, drink and fish. There we have the time to see the sunset and sunrise in a peaceful way.
Sounds very nice. Sounds like your own private fantasy island. Talk Asia with Surya Paloh, Indonesia's media tycoon, will continue shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Surya Paloh will now hand over his autobiography to his beloved, one and only son, Prananda Surya Paloh, who represents the younger or next generation of our nation.
I can change you right. We are not perfect.
Forget this and talk. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Surya Paloh will now hand over his autobiography to his beloved, one and only son, Prananda Surya Paloh, who represents the younger or next generation of our nation.
This is Talk Asia in Jakarta. We're talking with Surya Paloh, the owner of Metro TV, Indonesia's first 24-hour news channel. He owns a lot of other things as well. You're from Aceh, which is a province that has seen some problems because some there want to have a separate nation fighting for separate homeland. Do you go home a lot?
Yeah.
You visit home?
Tidak selamanya ya. Tidak selalu saya, tetapi kadang-kadang.
Sometimes, but I haven't been there for a while.
What do you think about the future of your province, of your hometown? I mean, do you see it someday achieving what they want to do, or what is your thought on Aceh?
Saya pikir masalah yang paling pertama sekarang ini di Aceh adalah
I think the major problem in Aceh is how we're going to restore the spirit of the people of Aceh that mainly is not compatible with Indonesian unity. There is a big rebel force that feels that the government system is not in tune with what they want. They feel injustice by the government. That's the basic problem. How will the government of Indonesia, especially the central government, return positive motivation to the people of Aceh to come back with sovereignty? They are a major part that should be united in the united country of Indonesia. That's the main job of the central government. But before that can happen, the government needs to offer an alternative solution, a more positive solution to the Aceh people that can be in line with their problems. This cannot be solved in a short period of time.
You have a new government, a new president, the daughter of the founding father of Indonesia, Megawati Soekarno-Putri. What do you think of her?
saya pikir kita menaruh harapan lah pada Megawati ini. Walaupun saya pikir Megawati yang pertama kesan kita dari komunitas pers.
I think we have a lot of hope for President Megawati, but the first impression from the press is that she's very tight with her comments. We all have hope, but we're a little surprised that she's so tight-lipped. Even if she's not like her father, a world-class orator, at least if she's doing what other presidents had difficulty with, giving us new hope. We believe in her organizational skills. So far, she is head of PDI. We were living in a situation with uncertainty, but in a very short time, the public trust has returned. That means the public have high hopes with her in power. That doesn't mean the press will stop critiquing. If we stop, then the government will be strong, but there will be no strong monitoring. That could create a new dictator, which would be a tragedy for a country like Indonesia. We have to avoid that.
Well, I mentioned earlier that 20 years ago was a different situation. The lack of press freedom. Your newspaper, one of your first newspaper was shut down because you criticized government. How important is the role of media in Indonesia today? I mean, there's just about total press freedom. What is your role now in society in today's Indonesia?
Uniknya kita sekarang berada pada posisi yang
We're in a very unique position. 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, Indonesia was full of regulation that was so tight, so limiting to our creativity. There was no press freedom because of the regulations. What's unique now is that we are very, very free. We have rules and regulations, renewed press regulations, but they don't threaten freedom of the press or suppress our creativity. But unfortunately, if this freedom is not balanced with professionalism, then this freedom will be detrimental to people. At least there are several requirements that we have to go through before a person can enter the press business. The first requirement is the realization that this is a capital-intensive business. The second thing is that the position must be filled by individuals with high professionalism. The third is that there should be a vision, an engine in this institution. They should have a very sharp business vision and business instinct. And finally, what is very, very important is ethics. Anyone who enters media has to work in building a marketing network that will make the business not only survive, but also develop. If a person does not have all those four basics, the business sooner or later will fall and disappear.
Your success is obvious. What goals do you have left to accomplish? What other things you might want to do or dreams you still have?
Usia saya sekarang 50 tahun. Saya telah 36 tahun menjalani kehidupan dalam dunia usaha ini.
I'm now 50 years old. I've been in business for 36 years. Like I said before, I have to be able to manage what I want. I constantly want more to continue and develop, and if I follow it, I have to be very, very aware of what my objectives are. But a person should also be committed to achieving the balance between work and enjoying life. I have to stop my high demand to build a bigger emporium. That is the other generation's opportunity. Our CEO, the surrounding people, will pursue the ambitions that I haven't yet fulfilled. Not me.
Surya Paloh, thank you very much for your time. Enjoyed the visit.
Dalton, thank you very much, and thank you for CNN.
Talk Asia from Jakarta. On the road here. Another half hour of Talk Asia is just ahead, so please stay tuned.
In politics, no definition.
Dreams and lack of judgment.
We will